Yeah,
you
cool.
know, that
right.
thing.
That thing. That thing. Hang on.
All right, I'm going live too.
They won't let me put the thingy up over here, so I had to do this like ghetto, like curtain, because he's like, no, it's gonna like devalue the stupid thing. I'm like, all right, well, like it's gonna like break it. I'm like, it's not gonna break. It's not gonna break it. It's not gonna break it. It's not. It's okay. We'll just let it be what it is. He just doesn't like doing that kind of stuff. It's really funny. Can you hear me? Yeah, you're real, what do you call it? Robot-y. Whoa.
All right, y'all. Well, we are live. Welcome back to Connecting Flights.
Hey.
Weekly conversations with Samir Moussa, Victoria Renee, and we're just swinging by. Can you hear me all right, Victoria?
Yeah, your internet's like real.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's like the internet is really bad. It's like lagging for some reason.
You know, I was if we can processing the video, it's going to take 2 minutes. I think it's using up a lot of my computer space.
Got it. That makes sense. Because
hey,
I'm like,
Sammy, you made it on. What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Hey,
Can you
hey,
hear me
buddy.
okay, Sammy? Talk to me.
Yeah, what's going on in your world? Did you get all moved? Oh no, he's gone entirely. Okay, well, it's just us. I'm wine and your whiskey. I'm slow and smooth. You hit too quickly. It'll be interesting to see if TikTok and or Instagram and or YouTube is going to. Sometimes we get flagged for singing my own song. It's like, I appreciate that the algorithm thing is doing its job, but also, like, I wrote this. You know what I mean? Oh, wait, what did Samir say? Okay, he needs 2 minutes. It's fine. I'll just chat for a second. Uh-oh, where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, so anyway. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I get flagged for my own songs sometimes, which is so awesome. But yeah, so we're supposed to be doing some so we're going to perform at the Oscars gala, which I'm really excited about. And I don't know, what do you wear to that kind of a thing? Is it gowns? Do I do a gown situation? Like, where can I look for this? Like, what am I doing? Anyway, so Samir and I just released Wine and Whiskey. And it's been getting like radio play, which I've just never imagined, but I'm really grateful that it's being, well received, and we've been getting some good press. It's cool to see something that started off as a thought turn into a whole ass thing. Like, all right, now we're like really about to start doing some shows out here. And we went straight from like just singing randomly, like acoustically, to having the single, to like now we're performing at the Oscar gala, which is exciting, for us. It's exciting. Anyway, I guess I'll just sing to you until Samir gets back on, because he's got to get videos. So where is this guy? I'm wine and your whiskey. I'm slow and smooth. You hit too quickly. You're the kind that lingers on the lips. You're the one that you take in sips. We tried to mix, but it ain't easy. I guess love don't work when I'm wine and your whiskey. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you know what other song we do that I love singing? Shallow. Oh, 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 I'm off the deep end. Watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. Mm-mm. In the shallow. In the shallow. In the shallow. We're far from the shallow now. You know what I was singing in the car the other day? Dude, Celine Dion, she is the baddest. Her soft palette raised the tone she uses is similar to Whitney's tone, which is that. Oh, Samir's back. Hi.
Oh, hey. Are we still going? Oh my gosh, technology.
Yeah, we are. I was about to sing Celine Dion.
All right, yeah, thanks for holding it down, Victoria. What's up, girl? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Yeah.
You're so much less fuzzy.
Okay, good. Nice. Yeah. I was trying to get a video for us to share up and ready quickly. And I just need a few more minutes, but whatever. I did it, but I can't find it right now. We'll do what we usually do. Just
don't even worry.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
How are you? How's it going over there?
Good, really good. I got, been in the studio. I went to I was teaching yesterday, and I had to I'm so bad at boundaries. Like one of my kids, his bus stop is right here, and his parents were like, he has a show today at school. And so they're like, we really need to do it 2 hours, but he couldn't do his normal day. So I was like, it's fine. So I pick him up from the bus stop and I take him to his house where we have a 2-hour lesson. And then we went to do karaoke afterwards. And it was so fun. It was so much fun. It was like one of my biggest passions in life, truly, is getting people who would never do karaoke to do karaoke. It's my favorite thing. I love it. Well, I mean, really, my passion is helping people find their voice. But
yeah, right. And it sounds like reminds me of like a big sister project. I had a friend of mine who was, growing up. I remember this. He was like an only child, so his mother got him like a big brother. Kind of situation, like an adult that would kind of take them under their wing and take them out and show them the world, and just have an experience. So, it's nice that you were able to weave them into the fabric of life. Provided parents are cool, it can be a great thing.
So fun. Like some of his classmates came and some, other kids. And there's this girl. She was like, 13, 14 years old, and she's just like, I'm like, you gonna sing? And she's like, absolutely not. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, what if I sing with you? And she's like, no way. She was like, well, what do you listen to? And she's like, I don't know. She was like, Queen, like Taylor Swift. Like, I'm like, that's a variety. She was like, I'll show you my playlist. And she started showing me her playlist. And I'm like, I feel like she's showing me her playlist because she secretly wants me to convince her to do it.
You picked up the challenge.
Yeah, I did. I totally did. And she was like, no, I could never. Like, my whole body's shaking, even thinking about it. I'm like, well, okay, what if I did Katy Perry, but I did it with you? And she was like, I'm too scared. I'm like, it's really good for you to try to do things you're scared of. And she's like, okay, fine. We did it. And she was like, thank you so much for making me do that. That was so fun. It is fun. I get it. It is scary at first. I used to have terrible stage fright.
Yeah, let me ask you, Victoria, because I think this touches on an important part as our roles in in everything that we do. They're bringing in the next generation. But before I talk about that, I want to ask, who did that for you? Like, who was a mentor? Who can you talk to us about?
Sure.
And it's people who helped bring you out and in onto the stage. Yeah.
Sure can.
Yeah.
Well, my vocal coach was a huge mentor, obviously. But beyond that, my
Who was
Aunt
your vocal
Ray.
coach? Name, location. Are
Yeah,
you allowed to disclose?
Sure. Yeah, I had 3 vocal coaches. Jeannie Logan is my main. She's my ride or die. She's in Indianapolis, Indiana. She's the best. She is the best. And I have studied with the best. Big names, Rennee Williams. I studied with her in Nashville. She was coach on American Idol. She was a coach on
She was a coach.
Yeah, she was a coach on American. She's written books and she was a whole thing. And then Jeannie Diva. I studied under Jeannie Diva as well. And they are all just thought leaders in the industry. And honest to God, Jeannie from Indianapolis, she just, I call her a vocal intuitive because she could teach and coach in a way that was just better. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like she can hear where your tongue is in your mouth without even looking at you.
I mean, I want to, yeah. No, that's great. Without even looking, intuition. There's something to be said for experience and the wisdom you get from doing it as a career. When you mentioned them as like thought leaders, it tickled my imagination to see if I could dig a little bit deeper to see how much of their teaching was guiding you towards your own thoughts.
So that's really interesting that you said that. Also, my probably my biggest mentor though was my Aunt Ray, who can sing her face off. I just talked to her on the phone the other day. She was very brutally honest with me. She's like, yo, the ad libs, stop. I'm like, you're right. Okay, that's fair. She's like, anyway, she's more on that later. So Jeannie was very, she's a redhead, not naturally, of course. Don't kill me, Jeannie. She's a redhead. She's got white girl, she's got so much soul. It makes no sense. The way she sings, it just doesn't sound like it would come out of her body. She's amazing. Yeah. And so she taught me early on, I studied classically, but she helped me like with the soul. And then we would do a song, but I would never do it the way the artist did it because the artist already did it. Also, I was like 10, 11, 12, I had to change some of the notes so that I could hit them because I was little. And, she would write in like a lick for me. And I would just do it, everything that she told me to do blindly. And then there was a turning point where I was like, no, I wouldn't do that. I would do this instead. And so I wanted to get better at doing ad libs and harmonies and stuff like that, because my boyfriend at the time was like, you're a white girl, you're never going to be great at doing ad libs. And I was like, we'll see about that, And so I told Jeannie and I asked her to, help me. And she's like, okay, here's what we do. We're going to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, but you can't sing any of the notes that are originally what's written. And so she taught me how to be creative on the fly, and then I would just start writing in ad libs myself instead of doing the ones that she told me to do. And I started just kind of finding my voice instead of being an imitator of her.
Right.
Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, when they, I love that first find your courage of play and try to play in the waters. Try to reach for things that you can't, and then through that you find your own ways, your own expression, your own colors.
100%.
I think that's important. You put something out on socials this week, which is great, talking about how really it's about finding your own voice, and how significant that is in the real part of living, right? Not.
Did I said that? I don't remember.
I mean, that's how I interpreted it. Yeah, it was something about how, having to find your own true expression, and that's where you derive your actual power from, finding it in your way. So how old were you? Where were you when you started to actually get into your own expression with it? And do you know where you were? What was happening?
Yeah, I was a teenager. So early on, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, even like 13, I was still very much, I sang as I was told to sing, like exactly, And then I started as a teenager, I was listening to different music. I was being introduced to new kinds of music. And I had spent, a summer or two with my Aunt Ray, and she grew up, she's an East Coaster, she grew up in Maine, and then she married into our family, and immediately, we got so close. I mean, she calls me her third daughter, because I am. Nice. And so, but her dad was a pastor. She grew up in church singing, and church singers are always, we talked about this before, they have this freedom in their voice that other people don't have for some, like, Whitney came from church singing, like the best vocalists usually do.
Lauren came out of church.
Lauren, yeah, 100%. And there's just a soulfulness there that you just kind of let, the Holy Spirit take over for you. And it's just, it's really beneficial. In fact, I would say it's imperative to get out of your head and more into your heart and in your soul when you're doing ad libs, when you're doing big belts. She taught me how to sing from like down way low. She was like singing from down here, Yeah. And it
absolutely
changed the way I sang. I mean, I could belt before, but it was a different tone when she was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I find I've been spending a lot of time rehearsing this week, because actually we do have a show coming up, you and I, in a couple of weeks. And so I need to understand everything that's going on the guitar and the vocals and doing all that at the same time. And I find that there's like this sweet, once you warm up and you get into that zone, where I feel even vocals fly out so much more freely. And I feel like there's just like a matter of heating up. The systems all need to kind of be warmed up and moving so that you can kind of achieve that freedom of expression. You have something you want to say on that?
Well, you're just exactly right. I mean, it matters so much to not just warm up your voice, warm up your body. Like, whenever I do legs, on leg day, I have the best vocals. No questions asked every time. Mm-hmm. It's just
something to do with the
blood.
It's state of the body and very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, you get blood flow to your lungs, blood flow to your diaphragm, blood flow to your throat, your neck, your vocal folds. And then, when you get blood moving, then your diaphragm is more reactive. It's not lazy. So you can just really just nail it,
Yeah. And then the feeling gets really wonderful. I find, like, through, back full circle to, how you started this conversation, sharing with us an experience you had this week with one of your students and helping them kind of bring them out into, the confidence of being able to sing on a stage and perform on a stage and have a presence on a stage. But I find, like, in that relation, in bringing them into the fold, I feel, the feeling becomes such an important thing to focus on. Like, when they are singing in their private world, in their rehearsal room, and then ultimately on the stage, if they want to, aiming for a feeling of flow and knowing what that is, and being able to harness it and sing from it, being one of the more important than technique. How do you think? What do you think about that? You know,
100.
feeling versus technique. Where do you sit on that conversation right now?
Okay, well, I have a lot to say about that. You learn the rules like a professional so that you can break them like an artist. I say that all the time because it's true. You have to do the work first, and then when you're on stage, be free. But just to specify, my kid, my student, I do the same thing to him my vocal coach did to me. If you're 6, you can just stand there and sing. But we don't just coach vocals. We're entertainers. Mm-hmm. You know, the days of "they always a castle on a cloud" are over. You have to perform. If you look bored, why should I care about what you're singing?
Yeah.
Sell it, you know?
Yeah.
And my vocal coach was hard on me, but she's right. Where is the lie?
Yeah, we have Sammy saying he's laughing that you're still being told off by your coach.
Yeah, she's the best. And my aunt, but I love Jeannie, man. She just I would spend the night at her house and stuff. Like she was like a mother to me, really. But,
well, that's incredible. I mean, I'll jump in on that because, you know, I've been into music for a long time and I've been a curious mind, and it ties in exactly with teaching. So there was a time when I was studying music of the world's people. Okay, so I was like digging deep into like how music is practiced in different cultural settings. And one area of the world that really kind of turned me on was India.
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, maybe because we've spoken enough about this, but really it turned me on. And it's like the student didn't just show up for an hour, 30-minute lesson and leave like we do here. No, they moved in with the teacher. They lived with them. They you know, it was like a relationship of like of greater depths, where how you do anything is how you do everything. So like the life of a musician, the practice of it, you know, and so I think there's something wonderful to be said for the fact that you got to, you know, because she was your aunt also kind of, and she's an exceptional singer, you know, literally follow in her footsteps throughout days at a time. I think there's something that I've seen to be said for what kind of learning you can get through that experience that we don't typically find in our 30-minute clock in, clock out lesson time, you know?
100 million%. So what you don't know about what I just said, I have so much to say. I'll try to be fast. My Aunt Ray got me when I was not talking, in those stages where I wasn't talking at all, and I was unbelievably introverted. I mean, it's not even just that I didn't talk, I didn't communicate, right? So I mean, she was she's the most outgoing person I've ever met. Like, she was the polar opposite of me. And so I really picked up, I didn't even realize it, but like most of my personality comes from Jeannie, my vocal coach, and Ray, my life coach, you know, my mother and mentor, really. Because I would just watch. I would go to shows with her. I was really little, you know, because she was watching me, and you know, she didn't just go and stand there and sing. She absolutely takes the audience by the cojones and she's an entertainer.
Yeah, wonderful.
Really. Yeah. She's an entertainer. I mean, she's so fun to watch. But also, that wasn't my student that I was talking about earlier in karaoke. That was just one of the friends that was like, oh no, I would never do that. And then all of a sudden,
you open them up. Yeah, it's a great feeling, you know, and it resonates with what I've been hearing, you know, because at the studio, we launched an online course, right? And Nico is leading that. And so I'm getting his echo chamber and his inspired social saying, you know what? There's just something magical about lighting someone up, literally
Yeah.
like turning on their brain and helping them, and I get it, like I absolutely, I get it. And it is a thrill. And I think it goes beyond just music, although it's beautiful when it's in music, but in anything, when you can like help turn, especially the next generation, on to life, like it doesn't get much
Yes.
more meaningful than that. I mean, honestly, like it
No.
doesn't. Like if that's all you do, then you've already you're crushing it. Like that's a
Yeah.
big deal, and there's a lot of joy and challenge, right? I mean, you want to know what you're made of. Try to teach someone something. Like there's a lot of challenge in it as well, but it's
True.
resonating. Like I'm hearing a lot of chatter about the joy that you get from being a part of that system. That's cultivation. So that's cool. I'm glad you brought that in. It's a wonderful thing.
I was talking to Jeannie on the phone not very long ago, my coach, and I told her about how I'm teaching too, and she was like, "Isn't it just the best feeling when you see someone have an epiphany?"
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they will never sing the same way again.
Or be the same person again. I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean, I'll remind you and whoever's listening how I had experience in opening music schools. So like I've literally had my hand in like so many families and students of all ages, by the way, not just kids, also adults coming in, and adults are the wildest to watch, pick up a new trick, especially a musical one, because it's such a different experience and it's so enriching. And when adults are experiencing it for the first time, it's just like it's one of the most amazing things to watch. I've seen them go completely bananas over what it is to actually the feeling of playing a song, playing a rhythm, playing a groove. So yeah, it's absolutely a huge thing, and I aim to have it be a part of what I do forever. Like I'll always be having some type of hand in cultivating, learning, because it's so much more than that. There's so many things going on.
You're teaching an instrument and you're teaching life lessons. Like I'm not just teaching you how to sing. I'm teaching you to be comfortable in your body. I'm teaching you how to have confidence. I'm teaching you how to do the thing that you're afraid to do. Then it goes beyond scales.
Yeah, let me share with you something that I absolutely love. I'm going to share it with everyone. I think I'll be able to pick this up, because this is something that I crunched on a lot. Can I open it up big? Where'd it go? Oh man, I just had it. This one. Let me get it bigger. This thing. Yeah. Have you seen that?
No. Scales, chords, appreciate.
No. Things that make you a better musician. Right? And then in here is things that make you a better person. Okay? You following that?
Yeah.
All right. So this is where, when through teaching music, you're talking about these things right here, right? This is also makes you a better person. It's a rad.
Wow.
Isn't it something? Yeah.
This is so good. Can we make t-shirts?
Yeah, seriously. Yes.
You're not clapping on 1 on 3 makes you a better person.
Right? Yeah, it's a cool little thing, which is why it's so much more than just teaching. There's you're just like you're saying, there's so many wonderful parts of life and living that kind of permeate through the experience. And so like if you're spending time in there and being on any side of it, you're dealing with real your developments, of self, and it's a beautiful thing to be a part of. I mean, music is a gift, right?
It is such a gift. And I mean, okay, beyond scales, beyond the fact that we end up being accidental life coaches, too, it's the physical resonance, the physical resonance in your body. There's science that says that I think Elizabeth Gilmore, didn't she write the book on happiness? She was a happiness researcher, and she said one of the things you know, we all have moments of being really happy, but everyone's bar is different, like where they stay typically. But you can raise your bar permanently, and then, you know, you're gonna have happy moment here, but she was talking about one of the things that will help you elevate and raise your bar in a permanent way is start doing things, starting these habits like listening to music in the morning. Just like listening to music, it physically, it changes your vibe. It really does.
You are. In my mind, I'm like, are you about to get into like subconscious talk? Because
yes,
you
finally.
know, girl, that's another thing that's going through, first of all, my life, because my wife is a master hypnotist who works as a nurse in integrative medicine. So like, I definitely understand that. And I apply it so much. So I was wondering if you were going to take us there where, like, you know, we have ways to help ourselves raise our own frequency so that we can resonate at a happier place. You know, and it does start, and I'm so glad you're saying this, and I will quickly high five and echo it and give it back to you with how you wake up. You know, what you do in the morning, the first 15 minutes is actually so profoundly impactful for your life. It's incredible. And I say that from someone who didn't know anything about this and would have been the first skeptic. Who've been like, yeah, you know, like, what are you talking about? Hypnosis, what's really happening there? I think it's, you know, I came at it completely ignorant. So I had everything to learn. And I'm just telling you now, as living proof of the benefits of that lifestyle change and practice, where you wake up and you intentionally put something on just for the first part of your day to help elevate your vibration, and then take off, go put on the music, go put on your whatever you listen to, you know, and get your groove on. But like, first things first, you know, get onto your, you know.
What's your morning routine?
What's that?
What is your morning routine?
Oh my gosh, it's so locked in.
Me too. I love this question. I'm so excited.
It's absolutely locked in. My morning and my nights are very meditative. Like, I wake up, I get my cup of coffee, and I choose my visualization, you know, like where I'm going to go. Like, and I have now, you know, because my AI knows me so well, it's always putting me on these wonderful little, you know, options that I love to choose from. But like, you know, some different types of vibes of affirmations, you know, gratitude. Gratitude's a big one. You know, ways to just wake up and like center myself with certain types of, you know, gratitude is very much a part of it. Start there, and then also kind of like guide my way through, you know, wherever I'm either trying to go, but more recently, just to keep my to receive. I'm in a receiving mode right now, honestly. But I mean, this is after years and years of like pushing through and trying to like get to these places. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm more like sitting back right now, and I'm just like grateful. But that's the details. The practice is the same. Every morning I wake up, I have my coffee, and I set myself up to just meditate, basically. Meditate in the morning, and the same thing in the evening. I go down with the meditation, and I've been doing that for years, Victoria. I'm talking like years.
That's why you're so chill and unfazed. I love that about you. It's just great. It's just so awesome. And I know that's like, you're a human being and you're not unfazed all the time, but you really, I mean, you really follow, like we talk about all the time, the 4 agreements. Like, you're really good at, you know, you don't take things personally. You just like, what are they? Don't take things personally. Don't make assumptions. Oh God, what is it? You know, the other 2.
Be meticulous with your word.
Yeah.
Which is a huge one. Power of word, which is also why I take my mornings and evenings so seriously, because like those words really are powerful. And and so I, you know, I cherish them, honestly. And then the second one is just do your best. Do your best. Just do your best. Show up, put your best foot forward, and let it go, you know?
Yeah, that's all. Just try.
Yeah.
I have questions for you.
Sure.
But I'm gonna go too. Wait, what is the AI morning thing? Are you asking? What
I mean is that like I YouTube. So I put on YouTube, and it gives me a bunch of different vibes. So like it just knows what I like this one guy, Bosk Neuro Bosk, I think is what it is. I actually get his hashtag, and it's just a limitless library of themes of meditations. So like
Cool.
I just pick and choose. It can be as simple as it's going to be a great day, or like it can be as focused as you're. I don't know. It goes on. But limitless options.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a YouTube routine, honestly.
Great. I love that. I do. When I'm going to bed at night, I have this eye mask that has speakers in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to YouTube and I will put on like a rewire your brain while you're sleeping meditation, that's just affirmations and helping you visualize what you want. And then when you wake up in the morning, it's so helpful. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I walk out and I have to pet Lex first because he'll feel left out if I go straight to Link. And then I go, pet Lex, and then I go over to Link and I just kind of like will lay on him for a minute. And then I get my coffee and then I will go into my bedroom and I have physical poster vision boards. And I sit there and I just look at it until each one of those things is resonating.
Oh, nice.
And just wait until you feel it, because if you're not feeling it, you're just looking at stuff.
Yeah, you're not elevating your frequency.
Yes.
And this is huge. We could really dedicate so much time to talking about this because it is instrumental to any type of human development. Anybody out there wanting to develop themselves, I mean, this is understanding how the subconscious works, and then understanding how you can actually affect the subconscious. And then, back to the music Venn diagram, like learning patience and discipline and all of those things and practice so that you can slowly cultivate yourself. And like, we're the genie in the bottle, So
I'm having I'm glad you brought that up. This could be a 2-hour stream, but I go as long as I can in the morning without having any thoughts.
Nice.
Just because then when you get really good at doing that, then you can feel every thought that's received versus, you thinking. But anyway, so I'm having an issue with that with one of my students, actually the student that I went to his house and did sang with. And then, by the way, his dad's the one who introduced me to Todd Burke.
Oh, nice.
They're neighbors. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you gotta give him a special high five.
I will.
Todd Burke is an engineer producer who's worked on some of the greatest records I grew up listening to, that Victoria introduced me to when she listened to Wine and Whiskey and Atmos for the first time. Okay, that's it. Continue.
So I'm having an issue with him. By the way, this kid is like the sweetest human being alive. His mother is a world champion. For 17 years, she has held the record for sharpshooting. She's nice. She's on the board for the Olympics. She's in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Won all the time. So like people who are the best in the world and have been the best in the world for that long are like built different. So the kid's got a little bit of not a little bit. He has an insane amount of perfectionism. And I like, hey, gang recognize gang. Like same, But like I really am having but also I'm trying to teach him because he gets so upset when he does anything wrong. And I was talking to my vocal coach and I'm like, I don't know how, trying to tell him that it's okay. But she was like, you were the same way. And I was like, what? But anyway, she was like, my gift to you, I have a lot to say about this. She's my gift to you would be that you weren't so hard on yourself, but also, baby, aren't you so glad that you were so hard on yourself? And I was like, oh, she's so wise. How are you so wise? Because it's true. It does make you better. But also, I'm trying to teach him, it was a bad note. You're not a bad singer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're driving your car and you're driving your car and your gas is low, and are you like, I'm an idiot. I've ruined everything. I don't know what to do. What a mess I've made here. No, just go fill up the tank. It's not a big deal. It's just a meter that's showing you, that's what your emotions are. It's or like the thing on the side of the road when you're driving and you veer off and you hit the little bumpy things that makes the noise. Like, oh, you went too far this way. You don't get mad at yourself for doing that. You're just like, oh shoot, get over. There's no emotion attached to it.
Yeah, don't take it personally. And beyond that, like one day, it's like NBA pros don't make every shot they shoot. They just don't. Like your expectations got to be like a little bit more real. Like even at the highest level, people don't make it all the time. And I remember learning that from one of my mentors, Leon Mobley. I'll drop his name all day, every day. That guy, brother, taught me a lot. Super experienced percussionist. Look him up. But he was like, one of the first lessons he would teach me was like, you're never going to get it right all the time. So let go of that expectation. Even when you're playing the drum, like you're not going to get the perfect tone every time. And that's the rule. That's how it is. So like, you're not going to make every shot. It's just how it is. And so like learning patience is what I find is one of the most important, but the first lesson that so many students in the world of music have to learn, because like, you got to learn, like you're saying, to get through these challenges of of imperfection, and then to realize at the end of it that there is no perfection. That doesn't exist, but you think that there is because you think, because logic can sometimes lead you that way. But
but if I'm making, so that's the thing. Like if I'm making 100% of the shots that I take, I'm not reaching big enough. Yeah. That's like one of the main reasons I listen to some of the music I listen to, because I need to be challenged. I want to sharpen my craft. And that means not doing the things I already know I can do. I need to stretch myself. Who are the top vocalists?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that ties into your runs. I wonder if that ties into your runs, because for as long as we've been meeting, we've known each other for years now, but there's always been some type of side conversation with your runs, then that you're ad-libbing rather. And I wonder if that's out of your need to be challenged, where, on the flip side of just like sitting easy on the feeling, right? Which I talk about a lot, is like the feeling. And so I just wonder if it comes from that.
From the feeling.
Well, that like I'll like a simple melody with a beautiful feeling for me is enough. Like I love that. Yeah. I don't feel like I don't have any of what you have in that, in terms of feeling like I need to challenge myself to sing these ad libs or these runs that are amazing. Like virtuous, but
also ridiculous. I mean, Jeannie, I don't know if I can say this on live, but
don't do it. Be safe.
All right, but she was just like, that is fun for you and no one else. No one cares. It's good to know that you have control, but it's like, also I think for me, it was a thing of like, someone told me I couldn't. And so that like flamed a fire under my ass a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like you could, but like not totally. Or just like there were songs I wanted to be able to sing that were in these keys, or I just didn't understand how they were doing it.
Right.
And then if you just start doing it, it's going to be bad at first, but eventually you figure it out. You do. You just got to keep trying. But yeah, it is. I was getting obsessed with it, and I got too obsessed with it, and I started doing too many runs, and it was just like, I'm losing the music now.
Yeah.
You sit at the time of it. Just sit into the tone and a beautiful melody. It's like some of my favorite songs that I've sung recently. I think I just played you, or I sent you a version of Fallen, and there's no belt. I don't belt in that song, not once. There are no runs.
Yeah.
It's just tone and lyric.
I mean, kind of back to something that you said where, know the rules so you can break them. It's also like know the techniques so you can use them, right?
Yeah.
Like have them in the bag, play when it's necessary, like it's like I like to paint, it's like just because I have all the colors of the rainbow, it doesn't mean I have to use them at all.
Right.
I'm just going to use green, blue, and purple, and that's it, like because that's what this calls for. Although I could, continue to so there is that exercise of control and choices, right? I mean, that's what separates artists is like the choices that we make, and and right. So yeah, it's good to have the toolkit and the confidence.
With the song, because like silence is the canvas that we paint on, really, and if you flutter it up with too many things, it just it loses the profoundness, and not every ad lib has to be 8,000 notes. In fact, don't do that. Don't do that.
And I'm going to jump. I'm so glad that you brought it back to silence, because something that you said earlier about our how you start your day is that you try to get silence so you just without thoughts first, and I think that's a wonderful thing to speak a little bit more on, because it's not that easy for some people to do, to get the space in between thoughts and just like separate it. I feel like I'm like on the flip side where like I was like that. I'm born. I don't know. I came out and I would just check out and be like just
Dude,
very much a dreamer.
You were, weren't you? You were.
I mean, well into my adult life. I mean, before I got engaged, really, I would spend hella time just by myself, walking
Are
around.
you someone who never gets lonely?
Oh no, I don't get lonely.
I don't get lonely either.
Yeah,
I don't. No. That's so interesting.
I love people. I do. I love people. I mean, I absolutely adore them. In fact, like hearing myself say that I don't get lonely triggers some type of like synapse, like crossfire, because I love people, and like I will go to them and stay with them, and like just shoot the shit with anybody on any corner. I don't care where you look like, where you come from. If you got something to say in a conversation and you can like contribute to energy, then I'm with you, all day. But I don't really get bored, alone.
Yes, I really do. I think we are so weird like that. I don't think other people are you guys like that? I don't think other people are like that.
I don't think other people are born like that.
No, I don't have the thing though that you have, where it is hard for me to go long periods of time without thought. It is like my brain be firing away, but I do practice that, and I can find stillness for sure. I'm actually good at finding stillness. Music helps with that a lot, but you do have that. You were born that way. I can feel that. Like there's
I'm sure you can. Yeah. Sorry, what was that last part?
There's a centeredness about you.
Yeah,
that it's so helpful, because like then they some of the spiritual thought leaders I sound like such a butthead. Some of the spiritual
good. You know what? Wake up. I mean, spirit is it. Like, I'll talk about it all day until people start figuring it out, because it is what it is, like
it is. We're not wrong, but they're saying humans are evolving to become less cerebral and more they'll think not and more from their heart than from their brain, which is what I'm trying to do. You know, I feel
Yeah.
like you
Oh,
do that naturally.
that's huge. That's huge. I think I do. I don't know why or how. I'd have to really think about where it developed and how it came to, and how I learned to trust that more than anything else, almost. Like, but it did kind of happen where, you know, um,
You
yeah,
trusted your instinct and it paid off. And then you listened to the voice in your head because you were still enough to be able to do that, to hear yourself. And then you followed it. And the more you do that, the more you understand that it's going to guide you to a good place. And so you trust it more. And then it just becomes more powerful. And it just goes like that over and over.
there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that pretty much
That's pretty
what
much how it goes.
Daniela?
Yeah. And yeah, absolutely. Yes. So that's part of the journey and part of the experiences, and it helps keep us in that courageous way, because it does require courage.
It does.
It does require courage, and sometimes it's exhausting to always have to be kind of faithful in what your moves are. But eventually, things start to manifest. And let that be a part of why today's theme of the subconscious, and how we start our day and our intentions and raising our frequencies, and then and trusting our heart, it more than our brain sometimes, can lead us to places where all of a sudden life pops up, in the most unexpected ways, at the most unexpected times. And I like to believe better than we expected.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I'm doing better, and I can tell. That's how you know you're aligned. When you're like, I was looking for this thing. I've been looking for it. I'm also kind of avoiding it because I don't want to have to put in the time. And then all of a sudden I wake up, I go get a drink of water. I look up at the same place I've looked at 100 times. And there is this packet that I've been looking for a month. It was just right there, and I had just made an intention, I'm going to need to find that soon, and there it is. And then just those little things of I had this weird instinct or the other night I was thinking about this girl that I met a while ago that was talking about putting on a show that's raising money for, sick kids, or I think that was what the cause was. And I was just thinking about her, and then she calls me, and I was just like, what is that? What is that? What is that? It just...
you're speaking precisely to one of the experiences that absolutely affirmed for me that I am a part of something bigger, and this is what connects me there. Because the same thing, I was young enough to have it blow my mind, where I was young enough to be really thinking about someone that I hadn't thought about in a long time, on the other side of the planet, no less, and then I wake up to... They communicated to me, they sent the communication out to me. I was like, yo, how does this happen? Riddle me that. How does it happen? My only explanation is that there's more going on, and this is where you can experience it. Right. So I'm staying here, and I odd man out for sure, because it's not the picket fence 9-to-5 grind where you go discover yourself in this way. It's no, you go out and you walk. And you don't come back until you've settled with something, and so I've spent a lot of time in those places, and music is a wonderful way there, and then back to what I was saying about studying music of the world's people. That was also very informative. I learned a lot about how people interpret life through music, and how they use music to help almost get us to this place of connection and connectivity, and this kind of connecting. And so it's a beautiful thing to speak on this. This is a good conversation, and I absolutely invite us to spend more time discussing about the subconscious, and how that has helped us get to where we are because honestly, that has been some of the most important work of my life. You know, I would say this, and then
Yeah.
you know, like I really, back to your question about how I wake up and what the routines are. Like I work harder on myself than I do on just about anything else.
Oh,
Like,
same.
you know,
Yeah.
like it starts here. I got to figure myself out, tune this system up, and 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 replace parts, you know, and spend a long time working on parts that need a lot of attention, because it's a life work, so yeah.
The work is never done. I mean, we
Yeah,
are ever evolving.
right.
But what you're saying is so spot on. I mean, as above, so below, as within, so without. You have to change inside, and then your outside circumstance change. When you try to do it the other way around, everything is so efforted and everything feels so hard, and you don't get very far very fast. And it's just, if I saw this thing a long time ago, and it was like, it was like a meme or something, and it was like, every day I'm hustling, and it crossed out hustle and put aligning. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
that
that,
part.
yeah,
Because what you can do more aligned than you can with 10,000 hours of hustling.
effort. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
what
that's
Abraham Hicks calls it, like, I get that you're vacuuming and you're doing that work, but you have to plug in first, babe.
yeah,
You got to
yeah,
plug
yeah.
in. You got to plug
And
in.
that's what I love. Why, and I want to keep circling back to when you were talking about how important it is for you to hold the space between thoughts in the morning, right? That silence, because that's where the download will come, and that's the alignment. That's your cue to align. What you have a choice. Are you going to do anything with that or not? Are you going to be brave enough? Or are you going to put it away and say, oh, no, that can never be what I'm supposed to do? But it's in those moments where I believe that's your lifeline to align. Yep. So I love that you said that, and I'm happy to circle back to it again.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, that reminded me, I was just writing this down. There's also been times in my life where I didn't understand why, but I just knew something. And I was young enough to not, maybe my logical brain wasn't developed enough, but I was the most introverted kid, period. I mean, I didn't talk, I didn't communicate. I wanted to be invisible. And when I remember in school, what do you want to be when you grow up? Singer. That made no sense. It made no sense that that's what I wanted to do. I didn't even talk, but I knew, and I had terrible stage fright. I'm the most introverted kid. And I don't know why I did this, but I was like, I have to go on stage. I don't know how to explain it, but I have to go on stage and I have to sing. I just knew I had to do it. And it went against everything my body was telling me, everything my nervous system was telling me. I was so shut down. That is not how a shut down person behaves. I'm not, my parents were like, this is crazy that you want to go on stage. Who are you?
Well, I think
I just knew I had to.
Yeah. What's wonderful is I think that's the life that refused to quit, because, I think contextually it's important to understand that, like, your being shut down was actually a self-preservation reaction mode, right? It wasn't like the life-giving mode. And so, like, it pushed through that, and it was stronger than that, and helped, get you out despite of that. So I think that's where the knowing is. You knew it, even though you were in a different mode. There was something that was there, and you felt it, and you didn't know why, and it refused to quit.
Yes, and I had to do it, and I didn't have that thing that was talking me out of it. I was just like, this is happening, and that's, my song Monster. I mean, that's really what Monster is about. Like, there came a point in my life where I just was tired of being afraid. I was so sick of it. I remember having nightmares when I was a kid, and I was like, you know what? These monsters. You ever get so afraid that you stop being afraid and you get angry, you know, and you're like, we're not doing this anymore. So when I'm saying monster, I'm like, finally climbed that mountain and I came back. I became the monster.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I can't fight it physically. I'm too little, you know, so I had to energetically fight it. And how do you do that? You just, you have to become the monster. And it's not in a negative way. It's like, you don't scare me anymore. I'm taking control over this. You have to literally change your vibration to instead of having a vibration of fear to a vibration of love and understanding and being like, it's cool, monster. You are where you are. Yeah. This isn't that though. You know, it changes everything when you just change I had to change energetically how I responded to the monsters. And I never really had a nightmare again. Actually, no, I've never had a nightmare again. I've had uncomfortable things happen, but not like a real nightmare, you know. Anyway, that's what that song's about.
Well, I mean, I can speak for days on seemingly the subconscious, because you know it just hints to the, you know, it's just as good to know what you don't want, because then it tells you what you do want, and just go that way, and you know, and then apply all of this work towards that. But I mean, right. So Victoria, always a fun conversation with you, because we can go anywhere, it seems, about a lot of things. And that's great. As long as, you know, I appreciate that. I mean, how much have we talked about music? I mean, I know we talked a lot about music, but you know, but yeah, I guess we will be back in LA together in a couple of weeks, and I'm excited for that. I really have been diving in, you know, learning all of the songs inside and out, because I just want to be so leaned into it, and it's been a lot of fun, actually. You know, so I look forward to that time, and we'll go, you know, we'll bring everybody with us as well. Have you been working on anything fun this week?
I have a session I have a podcast tonight at 4, and then I have a session after that, and then I have a session tomorrow morning.
Nice, great.
The session tonight is with this girl named Angel. She's so awesome. She's just one of the baddest dancers I've ever seen. She toured with Madonna, Snoop Dogg. Like, she's so cool. She does music. Went to college for it. She's great. So that, then I have to record the first verse. I have to re-record a first verse for one of the Memphis sets. I'm nervous. I don't want my part to get taken.
You got it.
It'll be fun. So I got that. And then man, just doing the thing. This has been such a good conversation. I'm really excited we get to save our this and that for next week.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I saw that you actually pulled one up, and I was like, all right, Victoria, way to go. Like, are you going to lead this one? But we can do it next week. It's fine too.
Yeah, we'll do it next week. And so, it was such a great conversation. I guess we should probably end the lives because we're over an hour. But I'll send you my thing for the card after this, and let's go. I'm going to start practicing too. Yeah, shoot me a message when we're done.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thanks for joining us, y'all. Victoria, good to see you. All right, guys. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye. Oopsie.